Hey, this is Julie Tussey. Thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast today. I have a fabulous subject called Overcoming the Challenges of Life. Everything from storms to hurricanes. You will always find an answer if you try. And you may realize that that very storm that you thought you would never get through is the thing that will propel you to success in your life. Right before we get started, I wanted to play you one of the songs that I wrote from my An Awesome Hour album. It's called Soar with the Eagles. If we just wait on him, it's all going to be all right. On assignment to show you how to love your life. Get on the Julie Tussey train. We're going somewhere, baby.
Pop the glam pain. It's time for the Julie Tussey Show live guest current event scathing exposés. The original suburban bombshell, the big blonde baby. giving you the fastest, funniest, most informative 30 minutes of your life. And now, here's Julie Tussey.
Now join into our simulcast live Facebook and YouTube video recording. And at the same time, we actually let everyone see us record the podcast, how it's made, all of that. So I hope you enjoy. Welcome to the Julie Tussey Show, you guys. We're getting ready to start a simulcast here on YouTube. While you're watching this, we're doing a Facebook Live. We're also recording a podcast.
I know.
So
much going on. You don't want to miss a second.
I know. And behind us, you can't see this. I wish that you could see this on the podcast, but there is a beach and ocean water lapping and palm trees hanging down, and I'm in my happy place. So, hey, give us a heart if you're on and watching us. You know what? I've never done an afternoon live for the podcast.
You have not.
I've done a noon and I've done a tour.
And a tour?
A one or two-er.
But
you know
not
what
a
I mean?
three-er.
Because I'm up at like 5 or 6 every morning, so usually by this time I need drugs. Therefore, I would like to tell you about our sponsor, Ready Whip. We actually did a commercial for them because
Here we go again.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
This is like your, what do they call it? Your one
shot of sugar or something?
One, I don't know. You know, they just come out. But this is what you wanted to have in your fridge because when you want to eat chocolate cake and desserts, and you know we're about fitness and health here on the Julie Tussey Show. I won't even go where I was thinking. Thank you. But you walk by your fridge and one shot does you. It's a one-shot wonder. That's what I said. A one-shot wonder. Give you a little sugar. But I have a problem, and I'm trying to get Ready Whip to sponsor me and send me, and have mercy, send me a case of these. And they come in sugar-free, which is what I would prefer. But every time I go to get some, my kids that are 20 that still live at home,
just saying.
Help me, Jesus. Empty it. I bought it 2 days. It's empty. I don't know, y'all. Can I get a one if you love to have a Ready Whip?
The son had this like size of a coffee cup.
Uh-huh.
It was that.
It wasn't quite that bad. It was like
I'm telling you.
And he told me the
one I saw was that.
He only had it one time. That one time we saw him. Oh, well, he doesn't usually lie to me. He'll be like, "Well, Mom, I work. I'll buy a can." And I'm like, how's that cold coffee, Stacy? This is Stacy Jones, if I didn't tell you that already. I did. But I didn't tell you on camera, okay, for YouTube. I didn't tell you on camera. She is my BFF for like 30 years.
Yeah.
She was.
It's so close.
So we have done some things together. And so we're going to start this podcast. I'm going to start recording. And then we can talk about these things. You want to talk about some things?
We got things to talk about.
All right.
Don't get me dancing. You know when the movement starts, it's over.
It's over. You don't know the shenanigans that go on around here when you're not looking.
No.
All right. I should be hearing something right about, just about,
Get on the Julie Tussey train. We're going somewhere, baby.
Woo! Come on, Stacy. Come on, sweater.
Pop the glam pain. It's time for the Julie Tussey Show live guest current event scathing expose.
Right here.
The original suburban bombshell, the big blonde baby.
That's a lot to
Giving
live
you
up
the
to.
fastest, funniest, most informative 30 minutes of your life. And now, here's Julie Tussey.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the the Julie Tussey Show podcast. I am so glad to be here with you today in the studio. It's the secret location studio called Tussey Music and Entertainment.
Yeah.
It's secret. Stace, I don't know how you found it. I did bring you in blindfolded.
You did.
You are not allowed to disclose
I don't know why
the location.
she just said that.
That's right.
Because I didn't see a thing where I was going. She just said step, 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 step.
Step up. Whoops, sorry you fell.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
So it's an
anyway.
Yes, on her own. So
Yes.
it's an undisclosed location. And Stacy Jones, the Right Reverend S.J., is in the house today. And she's here with me.
Oh my goodness.
I give her nicknames.
Yeah.
So she's here, and we are going to talk about a really great subject. I'm going to play a song for you. In the podcast, actually, I think I'm going to play it before you hear the podcast, and it's called Soar with the Eagles, and it's a song from my album, An Awesome Hour that I recorded a while back. And I have done gospel music for most of my life, and I'm now 30 plus.
Yeah.
30 and some mores. And I love this song. So I wanted to talk to you today.
More.
You do love it more. You love it more than me.
I do.
Actually, it's one of my most favorite songs that I ever wrote. And if I can ever get K Love to play a song of mine, that's the one I'm going to give to them.
Yes.
That's actually the radio release for that album.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, guys. I want to share a fantastic event that I am co-hosting with my friend, evangelist Robert Hopkins. He and his precious wife, Marcella, are coming to Richmond, Kentucky, and we're going to be hosting a 3-day conference, 7 o'clock each night. It's a weekend. It's going to be fun, and you want to come. It starts July the 19th, 20th, and 21st, 2019, right here in Richmond, Kentucky, and it's called Outreach for Christ. I'm going to be singing. He's going to be teaching. It's going to be fantastic. Get your friends and family and let them know. And please share this with those that are in the area. People are even flying in from around the country. It's going to be a fantastic time. So please do put it on your calendar. Again, that's July 19th, 20th, and 21st. For more information, email me at thejulietusseyshow@gmail.com.
Hi, this is Marilyn. I'd love for you to go and subscribe to the Julie Tussey Show Fabulous Cooking on YouTube.com/C/TME-TV.
If you're in the central Kentucky area and you need excavation, we are your company. That's right. Tussey Excavation is here. We are certified. We can dig out anything that you need dug out. We can put it back too. It's an amazing, amazing company. We are here for you. Give us a call at 859-398-8977. Tussey Excavation. Here to show you the impossible is possible if you only believe. And now, back to the Julie Tussey Show. So today I wanted to talk to you about how to rise above your challenges. I was listening to Terry Savelle Foy. Oh, we love her.
We do.
She's amazing.
She's so precious, too.
She's awesome. She's a little teeny tiny thing. Teeny thing. But she has some really good things to say, and she inspires me. Does she inspire you?
She does.
All right.
Ever since you had me follow her.
Yeah, she's amazing. Go follow her on Instagram and all of that.
She's so good.
She teaches people how to live their dreams, and that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm working on with the Julie Tussey Show. But
I'm still figuring mine out.
I know, right? Right? There's so much we could talk about dreams and figuring out what it is in your life that you feel like you want to do or are called by God himself to do. Now, Stacy and I met in church. It was almost 30 years ago. And I went to her church in Muskegon, Michigan?
Yes, that one was, yeah.
And I was a singer. And I went there with Reverend Alfonso Vargas. Shout out to the Rev Alfonso. Whoop, whoop. And when I saw her, I just fell instantly in love, and so did you, and we've been together ever since.
We have.
But you know what, Stace, there's been some really tough times that we've been through.
Whew.
So I'm not trying to bring it down today, but I did want to talk about how sometimes we reach challenges, or what the Bible would call storms, in our lives. And it can seem like you're never going to overcome it. And it's so hard. Do you have any challenges or storms that you
I
want to share?
am coming out of the
coming
worst.
out. I want the world to know.
We break out in song like that all the time.
That I have overcome. Woo!
I was in a bed for a little over 2 years, paralyzed. Thought no one knew what was wrong with me. I couldn't get to a doctor that I was supposed to get to, and I went nowhere. I was literally bedridden for 2 years.
And housebound.
I did not go out of my house at all for 2 years, laid in the bed. So, I'm just going to say this is on my heart, but just because you're a Christian and you love the Lord, it doesn't mean that you yourself are not going to go through some major storms or hurricanes. She's fixing me again, right in the middle of my story. She has to fix my shirt.
I did. I had to fix the shirt.
My family from Knoxville knew I was going through this hard time, and they stepped in and stepped up and brought me down to Knoxville, where I had the best care of the best doctors for what I was battling. And my cousin recognized it because she dealt with it herself, and it's on my dad's side as well as my mother's side.
Right.
And I was diagnosed with severe depression. Now, in my past, I was always told that you'll never get over this if you don't learn how to pray enough. You're not praying enough. You can get healed of this. You just need to pray more. When you are so down and so depressed, you don't have the strength to even murmur your own name. Praying, it was way past that. And I had to literally have people that knew me and that I only trusted with my situation, and family that I trusted with my situation. They had to fill, a chasm is a little piece of land, and there's a big whoop until you get to the other side of it. It's flat dip, then more flat land. I had to have people stand in that chasm for me for 2 years because I was done. Suicide started sounding like a real good idea. And yeah, I'm a Christian, but it doesn't mean that we don't think of these things or that we don't go through these things like everyone else in the world does. The great thing is that we have Jesus Christ on our side, and He knows who to put you on people's heart, and they do respond, and they will stand in that chasm for you and pray for you until you get out of the hurricane. And mine was not a storm, it was a hurricane.
Yes.
So I got diagnosed. I was born with a certain gene that they also think my mother was born with as well. And God's carried me the rest. I still deal with certain things every now and again, but I now know how to pray. I know now how to reach out to people when I'm in trouble. And you have to find that there are people, you have to learn to know. You have to learn to know that there are people out there who are very concerned about you, who love you, who see that something's maybe changed about you a little bit, and they want to be able to help you. It's up to you which ones you trust, because believe me, I know it's a very scary place to be. Very scary. But God puts you on somebody's heart, and they will pray for you. And Julie has been the one that has literally brought me out of the entire hurricane storm, and God's used her to help me plant my feet on firm ground.
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, we've been together forever, but I so feel in my heart that we've not seen nothing yet.
Yeah, that we're only getting started.
We're only getting started. And age is just a number. That's all. You know?
You have to ignore it.
Exactly.
Well, God, one thing that I love is that God is so faithful.
Yeah.
He is so faithful no matter where we are to find us and to send help.
Yes.
Isn't there a scripture that says he's a present help in time of need? And I hate that you went through that, but you know what? And you're right, that wasn't just a storm, that was a hurricane, and that was just horrible. But there's always an answer, Stace, and that's the thing that, you know, maybe you're watching right now, and I didn't expect to even talk about this subject, but maybe you're watching right now and you have been considering suicide.
Yes.
I know many people have, and I think even most everybody will maybe think about it here and there, but it's when you consistently think it that it becomes dangerous.
Well, then the more you think about it, the more it becomes a plan.
Yeah, if you start making a plan, you have to. You need to really reach out for help,
big time.
But I'm telling you that God, He is big. He is bigger than you think He is, and He can change your life. He can change your life. Like
absolutely.
2 years ago, you would have never thought you'd be sitting here talking to this wide audience that we have, right? And but suicide is not an answer.
No, it's a permanent answer to a temporary problem.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. So if you know someone that's dealing with that, check on them. And someone says they feel the breeze from the ocean. Hi, everybody. So Stacy's storm was quite a big storm, and she's standing here testifying to you and telling you, hey, I made it through, and so can you. And I wanted to talk about, I love this scripture, Stace, Isaiah 40:28-31.
Yes.
Have you not known and have you not heard the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth? He neither faints nor is weary. He never, ever gets tired. I mean, like, we get tired and we're like, I've prayed with you all day. I got to go to bed now. So you got to be by yourself. But He's not like that. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, He increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not faint. And I'm telling you,
which is your song.
Yes, and that was why we wanted to play that song, because I like to write my songs based on scripture. But I am telling you that there's steps to this. There's steps to rise above your challenges. Now, if it's as bad as suicide, you need to get help. You need to, if you need medicine, go find out what you need. Reach out to a pastor, reach out to a friend, have someone pray with you, go to a church, find some help, but don't sit there and contemplate that. And if you're constantly contemplating that, you need to recognize that as a symptom that you need help.
Yes.
Okay? And there is no shame in getting help.
No.
No shame whatsoever.
One other thing I want to add, piggyback on that. You don't let anybody ever tell you that you will be a weak person if you have to be put on a medicine
Right.
for your condition. Don't believe that for a second. If your condition were to be, you found out you had type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes, or you found out you had a heart condition, they wouldn't think twice
Right.
of not thinking it was okay for you to go get your medicine for that.
Right.
Depression is the same thing. The problem is
The
we
stigma.
can't see it.
Right.
We can't tangibly touch it like you see when people have a heart condition. You can start to see they are,
Or a
they become a
cold,
little,
or a-
yes, anything.
Right.
But depression, we can't see it. They just see someone changing in their demeanor
Right.
and in their mood and very sad all the time. And they can't tell you what's wrong. Because I heard that all the time. What's all this crying for? Why are you crying? What's the matter? I don't know. Trust me, if I knew, I'd fix it. But I had no idea. Until God, I call it suddenly God.
Yeah.
Because that's how it happened for me.
And he can heal you of that, but
Yes.
you need to go and get care. You need to
Yes.
you need to take every step that you can to be
Right.
better. At least I've been with this woman for 30 years, and I've seen the ups and downs of this
she's seen
that
it all.
affects her. I've literally had to go to her bed in her home and stay in her bed all night long praying to make it through. Don't cry, to make it through to the next day. And I'm telling you, whatever you have to do, you just call on God and he will meet you. He will meet you, and he will change this. And Jesus died on a cross so that you could be saved, so that you could be healed, so that you could be filled with the Holy Ghost, so that you could have power. And he will send people around you that will help you to get through.
He always does.
And I'm so grateful to have you sitting here today, because when she did her 2 years, she only talked to me like 3 times. And
that's
we lived
not
so
normal
far
for
apart.
us.
No, I couldn't even go. I couldn't go.
She couldn't get to me, as
No.
often as she wanted to, because we then lived a couple of states apart at that point, didn't we?
Yeah. Now we're closer, and it's just cool how God does it. But there's nothing that you can't overcome. Maybe your storm is a financial storm. I could sit here all night and tell
Yes.
you how Gary and I
What you
lost
went
everything
through.
in
Yes.
2007 or 2008. And we had a $300,000 house, a brand new Lincoln Town Car. We were making $25,000 a week in our company. And
That's
things were going
amazing.
great, and it was just like somebody turned the water off. And I am telling you, we're laying in our room at night ready to go to sleep, and I just started crying, and I said, honey, what are we going to do? Because we would not even get $4 in a week. And we could not find work. We were dislocated or displaced workers.
Displaced, yeah.
And, all we could do was pray. And I said, honey, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And he said, fear not and only believe. Fear not and only believe.
That's right. That's right.
So that's what we did. We just kept standing and standing and standing and standing. And you want to know the funny thing of what happened to us is that we ended up moving. We faced homelessness about 3 times. And all of a sudden God would do a miracle. And we kept looking for work. We'd end up, just God would make a way. People would bring food to our door. Literally, that we'd hear a knock, we'd go to the door, and there's people there with bags of food. And he would just be faithful. But what happened at the end of all of that is that he saw us through. And we now, all these years later, now live in our own home again for the first time.
And it's a beautiful home.
Thank you.
I'm so happy
But,
for it.
it would have been easy just to lay down and cry and
Give up.
die. But you know what God had us do in the middle of that? Gary was just walking down the stairs one day, and he said he almost audibly heard God say, open a food bank. Now, we're talking about that we couldn't even drive across the parking lot. We had no money, and we would have to just find a way to eat. And the state was so bankrupt, we couldn't even get welfare or health coverage.
Are you
I'm not
serious?
kidding you. I am not kidding you. So
Wow.
we couldn't get any help whatsoever. So we were selling, our refrigerator, and then that would give us our rent, and we'd sell this and sell the things that we had from our home. And so he heard that, and he came down and he talked to me about it. And so we started researching, and we found a food bank, this place that sold food to a food bank, and it would be, let's see, for $1 of food, it would give us like $18 worth of food, something like that. So for every $1. So we found a place that we rented, and God just brought in people who would support and sponsor, and we ended up feeding 1,000 families.
Oh, my word.
Out of that little food bank. And of course, who had food to eat? Us and our babies had food to eat.
Always.
And you know what happened right before Gary and I decided to do that? Gary took our last $4. Milk was $4 a gallon.
Oh,
he took our last $4 and went to the store directly across the street from where we were living, and he bought that, and it was in the winter. Now, Gary is the least clumsy person I know in my entire life. I've never seen him drop and break things. He's just not. That's just not him.
I do that.
That's her job. So he went and bought that $4 gallon of milk for our children, who were quite small. They were like 7, I think. And when he got near the door, he lost that jug of milk, and it hit the corner of the step, and it went everywhere. And he was like, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back right there.
I can only imagine.
God is faithful. So let me give you some points. Number 1, how to rise above your challenges. And this is from Terry Savelfoy on YouTube. I love her. So I just took some of her notes because I wanted to talk about this today. Number 1, keep your eyes on the goal or the destination. While you're going through this terrible time, you've got to continually walk in faith and speak in faith.
Yes.
You got to walk in faith and speak in faith. Number 2, believe that God's timing is always right. Sometimes when you're in that, you think like, where's God?
Oh, yeah.
Where's God? I needed that rent
Been there.
5 months ago.
Been there.
5 minutes ago I needed, or whatever. But storms aren't meant to harm you, but to cause you to rise. Eagles, they wait for that storm to happen, because then they rise on the winds of that storm, and then they go higher and higher and higher.
Right above it.
Yes.
And they lock those wings, and they just float, and they just go.
Yeah, once they get through the storm, then it's pretty easy gliding for a while, right?
Very easy, yes.
Number 3, great success comes with great failures. This was my point. But great success comes with great failures. You're not going to see anybody that's successful who hasn't had a bunch of failures getting there.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
To that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like Babe Ruth, he was known for having 714 home runs, I think is what it was.
Oh, my word.
Do you know he had 1,330-ish strikes out during his career? So like more than double.
Oh, my word.
And if you talk to him, he would say, every strike brings me closer to a home run. Talk about attitude. Talk about just looking
Positivity.
At the bright side, the paradigm shift right there.
Wow.
So, and then number 4, Goliath was David's promotion. So, Goliath looked pretty daggone scary.
Oh,
Yet, when David conquered him, that was the greatest promotion for David ever.
Oh, yes.
Was beating Goliath. So just remember, keep your eyes on the goal when you're in the middle of the storm. Remember that the storm isn't there to hurt you. It's probably a setup for your success.
It's so true.
Yeah, and there's lots of failures. There's going to be lots of failures before you hit success. But it's, my famous saying, he who stands at last wins. Mm-hmm. In other words, for me, that means if you just stand and keep doing it, even if you fail, keep going. Eventually, you're going to win just simply by default. Yes. You know what I say? There's so many people in your competitive field, and they're like, they're so good, and you're not doing so good. Eventually, they're going to quit, and you're going to be standing there, and guess who's going to be the number one of their company?
Right.
It
is true.
Yeah, so have some fortitude
true.
And stand there. Reach out and get help if you need it. If it goes if your storm is as serious as we were talking about in the beginning of this podcast, get help. Don't be ashamed. Call somebody, talk to somebody, go to the doctor, go to your pastor, go wherever you need to go. And then just remember that your success your storm is probably set up for success. Like when you make it, isn't it? What's the saying that we have in church? You have to go through a test to have a testimony.
And I take it one further. I just say, well, God took this mess and has made a message out of it.
Yeah. You have to go through the mess to get the message.
You do.
And so, well, we just wanted to encourage you today. We have a lot coming up on the Julie Tussey Show. July the 19th, 20th, and 21st, Evangelist Robert Hopkins is coming to Richmond.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
He is my friend since he was 14 years old, and he is fun and he is funny, and he actually has a tent that he takes all around the country, and he does tent revivals, and I think he's wanting to come here and do one. And so I said, come on in for a 3-day meeting, and we hope to get a few people out. And we're going to be at the Central Bank, downtown Richmond, Kentucky, at 7 o'clock every night, July 19th, 20th, and 21st, which is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So put that on your calendar.
Yes.
Let your church know, and
you don't want to miss this.
And I'm going to be singing. I'm going to sing. So I'm even writing some songs right now for a new CD.
And I'll be in this front row listening to her. Because I'm her biggest fan.
Oh, brother.
That's right.
Anyway, it's going to be a really good time. We just want to be a blessing to you. Thank you so much for listening to the Julie Tussey Show. I'd like to remind you that you only get one fabulous, awesome, wonderful, friggin' amazing life. And I want you to live it to the fullest. Teaching you how to pull yourself up by your thigh-high bootstraps right here on the Julie Tussey Show. That girl, she's on fire. Here to show you the impossible is possible if you only believe. Ladies, if you want to shop some amazing, amazing products, go and visit my website. Go to thejulietusseyshow.com/shop. That's right. I said that magic word. You're going to find some amazing and beautiful products there. We have new earrings for spring that are just light and gorgeous. Body bars that we have hand designed that we literally chose the fragrances and essential oils for. A new product line coming out, kicking it off with some great CBD oil from Z-Lease, a great new product line we'll be bringing and introducing to you very soon in a full podcast. You're just going to find amazing things there. You can also reach out to me there, listen to the podcast, check out previous podcasters and people that have been on the show. So go give it a try. Go give it a look. thejulietusseyshow.com. Here to show you the impossible is possible if you only believe. After a week of hearing hundreds of I can'ts, I'm here today to tell you you can. Find us on social media at facebook.com/The Julie Tussey Show and Instagram, The Julie Tussey Show, home of the original suburban If life is my oyster, darling, pass the hot sauce.
will cry.